Good morning, everyone. Week 7 already, so only 2 weeks left of class. You have this week, which will have a discussion board deliverable, and then the final project. So definitely do the discussion this week, the readings, but also be sure that you're working toward that final project so that you don't have a massive amount of work to do in that last week and can have an opportunity to breathe a little bit and review your final project before you submit it. It'll just make your life easier. If you want to turn it in early, that's fine. I'll start grading them as soon as I can. I don't have a lot of flexibility on when those final projects are due because course scores are due from me within just a couple days after the course ends. And if there's any kind of extenuating circumstances, it really moves to asking for an incomplete, which I don't think you guys want to do. So work ahead now so that if anything pops up in that last week, you're not struggling to finish that final project before the end of the course. Okay, so this week, like I said, we'll have a discussion board. I'll be working to grade your papers that you've turned in. I'll get those to you by the end of the weekend. And you'll be working on your discussion board this week, which I like this discussion board because it really allows us, it's an opportunity to reflect on how CRM works in our own organizations. So if you're not working now, that's fine. Just thinking of an organization of which you've been a part in the past and how CRM has manifested there. So it may not be something that you're doing right now. If it is, great, because that's always fresh in your mind. If it's not, that's fine too. The content this week for the course will be on, again, kind of furthering the idea of the technology and how that looks in terms of sharing information. So improving the customer experience is always the goal, but how do we do that? And how does that look today versus 10 years ago? So we collect data, and what are some of the obstacles that we have? So for instance, we collect data, and it's easy to talk about it in class saying, okay, we're going to collect data. We're going to have it in real time. We're going to reveal it to everybody. But as you probably will notice in your discussion this week, that's a little harder than it sounds because when you collect data, it's not always in the same format. Some of it might be in an Excel spreadsheet. Some of it might be verbal. And how do we collaborate and use that data and then still have it available in real time so that if somebody walks into our store tomorrow, we know what they were there for yesterday or what they were looking at online last night. So that's a little harder than it sounds. And how do we address and how do we tackle those types of issues so that this multi-channel touch point with the customer is shared information in real time? So that's really kind of the evolution of CRM and what you're seeing in the discussions we've had about artificial intelligence and chatbots and things like that. Those kinds of things have really made that a reality, something that we can do and an opportunity for us to share information. So that's part of it, of course. Another thing that comes along with that is now organizations don't have departments that work autonomously. So every department has their priorities, their goals, and how do we collaborate in a way that everybody feels that they have their goals and interest in their department as well as the greater goal. And then how do we budget funding while all these departments work together and share their budgets to make this a reality. So sometimes those things will come up, and those will be hurdles that you have to overcome in order to make the best possible CRM process a reality. And that doesn't happen overnight. It's usually baby steps. You start with the simple task and move from there, especially with a small business that doesn't have the ability to have a third party come in and overhaul their customer management system. So at the end of the day, you want to create unity among the internal components, but also bring in the customers through the most effective CRM project that you can. So you'll be talking about that this week. You'll be reading about that. You'll be talking about how it looks in your companies. And then we will be working toward those final projects so that you can kind of take some of this information and apply it to some of the companies you've selected so that you can give some great recommendations on how they can improve their CRM process from where they are currently. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I will be in the classroom. You can send me an instant message. I see those as soon as I log in. I don't get a notice. And also via email, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So everybody just hang in there. You've got 2 more weeks. I hope you're enjoying the content and have a fun time really going through these final projects with the company that you've selected, okay? Have a great week.